How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Sonic Adventure DX.
I hate Eggman. Where's this? That light. I think it's trying to show me something.
Well, guess we better go inside then. It's kind of weird though. I mean, usually the glowing red light is associated with, like, you know, chaos and all that, and stupid glitches! And now it's trying to show us this, so chaos is sealed. Why would we need to go inside of here if chaos is sealed up? I don't know. But, well, in any case, I don't know what I was doing out there. I was just screwing around, I guess. And we're heading to Sonic's 9th stage, Lost World. And yes, obviously Sonic has a lot more stages than anyone else in this game. He's basically like the core of your gameplay, with the other characters being side character development type deals, but I'll get into that a little bit more later on when I'm actually doing Sonic's review. Now, Lost World is the only level in the game where only 2 characters actually play through it, and that would be Sonic and Knuckles. Knuckles' version was, like I said, it was probably my least favorite Knuckles stage, but it was still alright. But Sonic's stage of Lost World, I actually really like it. I really like the music here. It's kind of, well, in this portion anyway, I really like this music. It's really, like, you know, mysterious and kind of ancient sounding, kind of like they're like chanting in the background, and it's kind of mysterious. So I really like it. I think it fits the area pretty well, considering, you know, what we're running through here. And so for this room, it's a little different. This room is like a puzzle room, but it's not exactly a puzzle room. It's a little bit more complicated than that, because you actually have to run around and do some stuff in here. There's a door in the top of the area that you have to hit 3 switches for. This is not one of them, to open the door. Now, if you want to get to the first switch, you can actually take that path down there manually and get there a little bit faster without raising the water level, or you could take this water snake here that seems to be moving around the area. How something made of stone is moving around this area, I don't know. It's probably linked to the fact that this is an area related to, you know, the ancient echidnas and all that stuff. But anyway, this is one of the switches. You have a blue switch, a green switch, and a red switch, and you have to find all 3 of them and hit them in order to get this area to the door up in the top of this area to open. And you'll have to raise the water level periodically in order to get up there. If you hit a water level switch 2 times, it won't actually do anything. It'll just leave the water level where it is normally there. And here's the green switch. Now, here's one of the things, though, is that this area, once you raise the water level enough, this area's platforming gets a little bit tricky, as you can see right here, because I hit my head on those spikes and then it launched me all the way down to this manual path down here where I said you could go to get the first switch a little bit faster without raising the water level. I figured I'd show it off because we'll be using this later on when I'm showing you guys the A mission, because this is actually a pretty decent shortcut for time. If you are, you know, being timed like you are in Lost World's A mission. And believe me, you need all the time you can get in Lost World's A mission, because you have to get through this area in 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And right now, as you can see by my clock up in there, it's 3 minutes and 15 seconds right about now. And we haven't even finished the first half of the level yet. So yeah, you need all the time you can get. If you want to take a little shortcut, instead of taking the water snake, you can do a boost jump past that 3rd water level switch to get to the red switch. Oh, excuse me, I just got up, so I'm a little bit tired. But if you're not good at the boost jump, then probably just wait it out for the water snake, because it's a little bit safer. You do kind of glitch a little bit into its walls every now and again because it's moving in such a way that you do that, but it's a little safer than the other way. I just, you know, since I'm on the recording, I have a little bit less time, I guess you could say, because I'm trying to do everything in a little bit, you know, I can't take my time for everything, is basically what I'm trying to say. Now this part, you definitely don't want to fall off the cliffs back there, because that's definitely death. But this part's a little bit tricky as well. I like how they kind of have like puzzles in these areas for Sonic, but they're not like in such a way that they completely stop his momentum, you know. He's still moving forward at a relatively decent clip. It's just you have to be a little bit more cautious, or else you fall off and die. So in this section you have to use these mirrors to light up the area. Well, you don't have to. Excuse me. You could just go forward like this, but the lanterns wouldn't be lit, and you wouldn't really know where you're going unless you played this game a million times. Even having played this game as many times as I have, I don't really know where I'm going without the mirrors. So there's a blue shield up there. You have the green shield right now if you got it on the side of the path there, but there's a blue shield up there that you can get as well. That blue shield is probably not worth it, though. This is one of the few times that it's not worth it, as you'll see in a minute. See why it's not worth it. But yeah, basically just, you know, guide the mirrors in such a way that they guide the light to the mirrors in such a way that you can get through this area, and you'll be fine. Here's why that blue shield's probably not worth it, because you have to do a light speed dash here, and if you have that blue shield, the electric shield, it'll help for this part because those rings will be drawn to you there, but it won't help for the last part, because then you have to do the light dash while the rings are magnifying to you, and it's more difficult. Basically, it adds a little bit of difficulty to the jump than the light speed dash area. And then there's this area, which in direct relation to Indiana Jones, Sonic is now outrunning a giant boulder, except this boulder is on fire. Don't ask me how that works, but I think this kind of makes sense for Sonic. A lot of people say, oh, it's ripping off Indiana Jones, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Well, I think it kind of makes sense for Sonic to outrun a giant boulder, because, I mean, you got to think about it. His game is all about running very quickly, either to something or away from something, and in this case, it's away from something. It's away from a giant flaming boulder, which, I don't know, it makes sense to me. A lot of people that watch the old Indiana Jones movies are kind of about it, but whatever. I don't really mind it too much. And now we're inside of Knuckles' area. It's a little bit different for Sonic, because instead of climbing up all the walls and stuff, he actually has to use these switches, which now can be pressed more than once. Oh, excuse me. In order to move up and down the walls. Now, it doesn't invert your controls like it does in Amy's Twinkle Park section when you're on these walls. Up still goes up, left still goes left, and all that stuff. It's just a little bit weird to control, just because you're on a wall, and you're not normally used to being on a wall. You're normally used to having solid ground below you, and like empty space and sky or whatever, or the rest of the room above you. So it's a little bit tricky, but it doesn't take too long to get used to, I don't think. So it's not that bad. As for the animals in this stage, it's kind of weird, because the actual animals in this stage, you can actually get pretty much the same animal table as in Red Mountain if you are looking for some power stuff. So I guess in this way, Sonic can kind of go to this area and he can get any of the power animals that he wants, except instead of parrots, you actually get penguins in this area. So it's not as good for your power, because I think, if I recall correctly, penguins actually decrease the power stat, so it's not as good of an area as Red Mountain, but yeah, I mean, if you're not really looking for the penguins all that much, then you can do that. But there's another light dash section, and actually, if you stay in this area over here for long enough, the music from Knuckles' version of Lost World will actually start playing, which will come in effect in the later missions when they actually put a roboticizer in here, but for now, it's just the center of the ruins, so. Alright, Glowing Light, you brought me in here. Now, what do you want to show me? Huh. Those ripples look kind of familiar.
Wow, what's this? A mural.
You know, that mural looks oddly familiar. Where have I seen that before? Well, I'm sure it's not important.
What's this place? Where am I? This is really weird.
Well, Chaos is sealed by the Master Emerald. Why would we need to be back here? Well, I guess we might as well see what happened. Jesus! I don't know who did this, but whoever did it, they just killed those Chow. It's kind of dark.
Why did this have to happen? It's terrible. I must stop this now.
What was that all about? I don't think I'm dreaming here. Hmm? Eggman! What's he doing here? Oh, never mind. This time I'll get him good!
Well, I guess we have to follow after Eggman, but still, that's still kind of weird. I mean, why would they be showing us a flashback of the altar when Chaos is already sealed by the Master Emerald? Well, technically, I guess at this point, he isn't really sealed by the Master Emerald yet because Knuckles hasn't made it off the egg carrier yet. But, well, actually, he might have made it off the egg carrier at this point. I don't know. I figured I'd let Sonic take a look at his old nemesis, whatever the word is, here while he was in the final egg forest base area. I think I filmed this part before. Actually, no, I had filmed Gamma's part, intro part before this, so I don't know why I was down there, but whatever. In any case, I guess Sonic got to see his old nemesis, whatever it is, before he went into final egg. Unfortunately, he can't get into Gamma's portion of final egg, the door of Gamma's portion, so I just cut to when I finished this puzzle up. I don't know why I was having so much trouble with it. I mean, I think I did this portion before I did Amy's last portion, so that might have been the difficulty. So now we have to follow Eggman into the center of his base, and Sonic will actually start where Amy started for this part. I actually really do enjoy Sonic's version of Final Egg. It's not one of my favorite stages in the game, honestly, but I do really like, you know, how you kind of get into the heart of the base here. Also, don't go after those guys unless you're doing a homing attack, because they will slap the shit out of you. But I like how, you know, how mechanized the place is. It really fits Eggman, I think, as a you know, a final area / secret base type thing. As far as you know, how, you know, he is, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say, actually. But yeah, it's a pretty cool little area. I like the music in this part, although this part, you know, we've heard this music before already. But in the upcoming part, it has probably one of my favorite tracks in the game, and there's nothing to do there. Let's get away from that. Those rotating discs, you got to be careful with them. Well, rotating, whatever these things are, rotating cylinders. You have to be careful with them because sometimes they can send you glitching through them and careening to your death. So be careful. Ah, there it is. Sweet music to my ears. This is the basically the heart of Eggman's base, and I really enjoy the music here. This is probably one of my favorite little areas in the game, just because you know, it's all mechanized. It really fits with Eggman's whole, you know, direction and, you know, what he does basically as a villain. And the music here is so hard rocking. Basically it's a hard rock version of Eggman's theme, as you can probably hear in the background there. Kind of give you a second to listen to it. But yeah, basically it's a hard rock version of Eggman's theme, and it's really cool. I really do like it. I think it fits the stage very well, because, you know, the stage is it's in the heart of Eggman's base, so you would expect some kind of really cool and epic music, but at the same time, you know, with the game's pattern of, you know, orchestrated music alongside, like, you know, rock band type guitar themes and stuff like that, I think it really fits well with the whole area. And there's a lot of, like, compressed instruments in here, like the what's it called, sounds that you hear in the background. Well, you can't really hear them because of the stupid bats, but these synthesized sounds in the background are really cool as well, I think. Now for this section, you got to be a little bit careful. The hammers don't really damage you so much as they do push you out of the way. So you got to be pretty careful, because if you don't know how to do the jumps like I did here, I wasn't really sure about how to do that jump there for a second. And if you screw up the jump, this could happen. Ow! I just got grinded into powder. But basically, you're supposed to do a short hop there, and I feel like an idiot. I felt like an idiot once I figured that out, once I got back to this portion. So just be careful in that section, because it's a long and very painful way down if you are not being very careful there. But yeah, I really do like this area of Eggman's. It's really fitting, I think, as a final area, more so than how it was in you know, Amy's game, because in Amy's game you kind of were just being chased by Zero, and in Gamma's game it was his first stage. But I really think that Sonic's version really brings this area out as a really cool area. Now you can actually do a shortcut here by just jumping off there, but you have to be careful, because again, if you fall down too far, you will fall to your death. There's a lot of bottomless pits in this area, but whatever. If you actually jump down the elevator shaft there, you can do a little shortcut for the A mission, but unfortunately, this is where I have to cut it off for this episode, because like Gamma's game, Sonic's ending ran a little bit too long for a single episode. It was like 30 minutes long, so I wanted to cut it off before it got too long. But we will continue with Sonic's game and probably finish it up in the next episode of Sonic Adventure DX. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Take care.